2,000 vocabulary words, set 20. Temporize. Act evasively in order to gain time, avoid argument, or postpone a decision. Tenacious. Holding firmly. That clings, adhesive, sticky. Holding together firmly, cohesive. Very determined to do something, persistent, stubborn. Tense. Tight. Pulled to its limit. Nervous or stressed. Rigid. Tension. A feeling of nervousness before something. A feeling of anger or hostility between two or more people. The degree to which a string, rope or wire is tensed. Tentative. Provisional. Not fixed or positive. Experimental. Hesitant or without confidence, uncertain. Tenuous. Thin, weak, and easily broken, not certain, definite, or strong. Very thin or slender in form, as a thread, insubstantial. Terminate. To stop. To put an end to. To sack or fire. To conclude. Termination. The conclusion to or end of something. The act of ending something. Terse. Short or curt, often in a way that is interpreted as unfriendly. Concise and to the point. Text. A piece of writing such as a book. All the words that were said in a speech. Written words. Theme. The topic or subject discussed in a book, essay, conversation, debate, etc. A subject that is brought up frequently. The style upon which something is based. Theory. A hypothesis. An idea that tries to explain something. An idea used to justify or explain something. Therapeutic. Possessing curative powers. Used to make someone healthier or happier. Producing a positive effect on the body or mind. Thereby. Because of. Thus. As a result. Thesis. The subject to be written about or debated in an essay. A long study written while one is studying one's doctoral degree. The main idea of a written work. Thwart. To prevent something from happening. To hinder, frustrate or foil. Timorous. Lacking confidence or nervous. Showing fear. Demonstrating timidness. Tirade. A long, angry speech criticizing or accusing someone or something. Titter. To giggle. To laugh softly and in a nervous manner. Toady. A person who praises and pretends to like a rich or important person, usually in order to get some advantage from them. Sycophant, yes man. Tome. A heavy and large book that often deals with scholarly or serious subjects. Topic. A subject that is currently being examined or discussed in a conversation, book, essay, article, etc. A theme. Torpid. Dormant or acting in a slow way due to laziness or sleepiness. Deprived of all power. Dull. Torpor. A state of not being active and having no or very little energy or enthusiasm. Tortuous. Full of twists, turns, or bends. Complicated, long, and confusing. Totalitarian. Relating to a system of government that is centralized, maintains complete control under a dictatorship, and does not allow people freedom to oppose them. Totter. To walk or move in an unsteady way, as if one were about to fall. To stagger. To sway or rock. Tout. Try to persuade people to like, accept, or buy something by praising or recommending highly and repeatedly, especially loudly and in public. British, buy tickets for an event and resell them at a much higher price. Trace. To follow or to track. To find the starting point of something. To copy a drawing by placing a piece of paper over the original and following the lines one can see through the paper. Tractable. Of a person, easily managed, taught, or controlled. Of a situation or problem, easy to deal with. Tradition. Heritage. Behavior and customs that are passed from one generation to the next. An old custom. Tranquil. Calm. Relaxed. Free from disturbances. Quiet. Transcribe. To write something down. To make an exact written copy of. To put something into writing. Transfer. Moving something from one place to another. An exchange. Giving property or financial holdings to another person. Transform. To change something. To convert. To totally change something in an attempt to make it more attractive or improve it. Transformation. A major change in something or someone. A change into something entirely different. The process of changing into something totally different. Transgress. To surpass the limits of what is considered by society to be acceptable. To sin. To go beyond. Transient. Existing, happening, or staying somewhere for only a short time, temporary. Transit. The act of passing through a certain location. A public system of transportation. The act of moving people or goods from one place to another. Transition. The conversion from one state to another. To cause someone or something to convert from one state to another. Transmission. The act of sending out a message or broadcasting a message. the act of passing something from one person to another. Transmit. To convey. To send across. To communicate or broadcast. To give a virus or illness to others. To pass from one person to another. Transmute. To transform. To convert from one form or state into another. To cause something to convert into something else. Transport. To carry something. To bring something from one point to another. To move goods or people using vehicles. Traverse. To move across or through. To cross. To extend across. Treatise. A formal, usually lengthy, book or piece of writing about a particular subject. Trenchant. Clear-cut, forceful, vigorous, or severe, especially when referring to one's arguments or ideas. Trend. The general direction in which something is moving or the way people are behaving. A fashion. A tendency. Trepidation. A feeling of fear or worry about what is going to happen because you think something bad or unpleasant is going to happen. Tribulation. A great trouble, difficulty, or suffering. Something that causes great trouble, difficulty, or suffering. Trifling. A very little value or importance, trivial, insignificant. Trigger. To bring about. To cause. To set something off. To make something happen. Trinket. A small object or piece of jewelry that is of no great value. A small object. Trite. Of a remark or idea, not fresh or original. Not interesting or effective because of overuse or repetition, worn out by constant use, common. Trivial. Of no real importance. Ordinary. Insignificant or minor. Truant. A student who avoids school without permission. A lazy person. A person who avoids or neglects his or her work duties. Truculent. Easily annoyed or angered and always ready, eager or quick to argue or fight. Truncate. To make something shorter by cutting off one of its ends. Tumult. A loud noise that is produced by a large group of people. A violent or turbulent uprising, a riot, confusion. Turgid. Pompous or too serious, grandiloquent, swollen or bloated. Turpitude. Depraved, shameful, dishonest, or immoral behavior or character. Tyro. A person who has just started learning or doing something. A beginner or novice. Ubiquitous. Present, or seeming to be present everywhere, especially at the same time, omnipresent. Ultimate. Last. Found at the end of something. The best or the worst of something. The most extreme. Ultimately. Finally. In the end. At last. Umbrage. To be displeased, offended or annoyed by what someone has said or done. Unabashed. Not ashamed, embarrassed, or apologetic about openly expressing strong feelings or opinions. Unalloyed. Pure, perfect, not mixed, not alloyed. Uncanny. Strange or mysterious, especially in a way that is difficult or impossible to explain or understand. Uncouth. Behaving in a rude, unpleasant, or offensive way. Not polite or socially acceptable. Unctuous. Oily or greasy. Overly friendly or interested behavior that is often clearly insincere. Undergo. To go through a certain procedure or experience. To experience something. To endure. To suffer something. Underlie. To serve as a basis for. To be a strong influence on. To be situated below something. Underlying. Fundamental. Lying beneath. Basic. Underscore. To emphasize or stress something. To draw a line under a word or words. To stress. Undertake. To agree to do something. To begin something, especially a long and difficult process. To pledge to do something. Unequivocal. Clear and easy to understand or see. Without doubt. Unambiguous. Unfathomable. Difficult or impossible to explain or understand. Of water or a natural feature, difficult or impossible to measure. Unfetter. To release, to liberate. To free from restraint of any type. Unfrock. To remove someone's religious status, to take someone's status as a religious leader away from them. Ungainly. Of a person or movement, awkward, clumsy, not moving in an attractive or graceful way. Uniform. A set of clothes that must be worn to be in a specific school or do a specific job. An outfit worn by people from a same school or doing the same job. Unify. To join two or more units together in order to create a newer, larger unit. To combine. To consolidate. Unique. Special. Being the only one of its kind. Unparalleled. Extraordinary. Unprecedented. New and never been seen or done before. Without precedent. Unruly. Difficult or impossible to discipline, control, or rule. Unscathed. Safe. Unharmed or not injured. Not damaged. Unwitting. Of a person, not aware of the full facts, not knowing, unaware, ignorant. Without knowing or planning, unintentional. Upbraid. To harshly criticize or scold. To strongly reproach someone for their behavior. Uproarious. Loud and noisy. Marked by loud and unstructured noise. Provoking much laughter, highly funny. Upshot. The outcome or result. The main idea, the gist. The conclusion. Urbane. Of a person, especially a man, polite, courteous, and confident in a smooth, polished way. Usurp. Seize and hold, power, a position, property, rights, etc., by force or without legal right, utilize. To employ something. To use something. To put to use for a specific purpose. Utilitarian. Useful, practical, not for show. Capable of being used. Created with its utility, not its beauty, in mind. Utility. A public service. Something useful to the public. Usefulness. Utopian. Modeled on or related to the idea of a perfect society. Visionary. Impractical. Utter. Complete. Vacillate. To change opinions or show indecision. To sway or stagger in an unsteady manner. To oscillate. Vacuous. Having or showing a lack of intelligence, interest, purpose, or thought. Without contents, meaning, importance, or substance, empty.